Welcome everyone, and thanks for playing the Grand National Novice Pairs. Hope you had an enjoyable time. I'm joined here by Renee Cooper. She's a fantastic player. She has represented Australian girls, Australian mixed, Australian youth. She's won silver medals in a World Girls Championship. Welcome, Renee.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So what we're going to be doing today is going through the boards and just talking through how we think they should be bid. So board number 1, how do you reckon you'd take this one?
Okay. So first seat nil, I'm definitely preempting thoroughly as North. I'd probably open 4 diamonds on the hat. I think 4 diamonds is my bid. I think it's with a 7-4, it's just way too good for 3 diamonds. But usually I require an 8-card suit unless I'm favourable to open 5. So I think 4 diamonds as North would be my choice, particularly with a really nice suit quality. So I think I'd probably go 4 diamonds. East would just pass. Now South's got a bit of an issue. Again, I'd probably pass at these colours. Vulnerable, I'd be tempted to give it a little raise because my partner's, again, probably going to have a better hand. But I'd probably just pass. And then again, now West has a problem as well because they've got a shortage in diamonds. So it's honestly, I think I'd probably, as West, you're a little bit stuffed. You kind of want to do a takeout double, but looks like partner's going to bid clubs, so you can't really do that. I might just bid 4 hearts and suck it up. Particularly with my bad spade pips. I think that's probably what I go for. I've got longer hearts. I've got better quality hearts. But I kind of think I have to do something here with a 6-5 in the majors. So yeah, I think it'd probably go 4 diamonds, pass, double. 4 hearts, pass, and I would definitely give that a tickle as South. So I think I'd get into 4 hearts doubled East West. How about you, Pete? What do you think?
This is a super interesting one to start off with. I really like the 4-diamond opening bid. With extra shape, 7-4 with a side 4-card suit, not vulnerable. I reckon 4 diamonds is great. I do think a lot of people might just open 3 diamonds, and we'll talk about that one later. And it's important that preempts work. They make you guess a lot, so I love preempting. Here, East should pass. And West, they've got a decent hand, but bidding 5 diamonds is a lot. And we've got good defensive cards. I don't think the opponents are making anything. So I like passing with the South hand. And the West hand is pretty weak, but extremely distributional. And I really try and stretch when I've got a shortage in the opponent's suit to try and find a bid. I think I would bid 4 hearts. We've got fantastic shape. And this is sort of a who knows what would happen. And yeah, I think your auction is a really good one. If North opened 3 diamonds, which I suspect lots of people would bid, it would go 3 diamonds, East should still pass. South now has an interesting choice. They're verging on considering 3 no trumps. But I just don't see where you're getting 9 tricks. So you might get 7 diamond tricks and your ace of hearts. But that's with partner already having like King, Queen, Jack of diamonds. So I reckon passing 3 diamonds would be good. And West has the same problem again. And
yeah, whether you want to bid 4 diamonds or you want to just bid 3 hearts. I'd probably bid 3 hearts on that auction. Again, simply because like if I bid 4 diamonds, my partner's probably going to be off to the races. They're not going to pick me as a 7 count, right? They're going to think that if I'm pushing a game, I'm going to have more points. I need to still bid, but I'm probably still going the 3 heart route rather than bidding 4 diamonds. Yeah, and also my spade pip's really bad. Like, I don't know.
But yeah, this hand is just like an absolute nightmare. So really tough one to start off with. But I would be bidding on the West hand. You've only got 7 points, but again, that shape is just so good, both majors. I'd try and come up with a bid. I think 3 hearts is all right. But moving on to board number 2. This one's a little more tame. East gets to open 1 no trump, 15 to 17. South had passed, and West has 9 points and a 4-3-3 shape. I would just be inviting with a 4-3-3-9 count, playing match points. And so 1 no trump, pass. However you invite. Some people would just bid 2 no trumps directly. Some people go through Stamen and then bid 2 no trumps. The north hand's pretty good. But if the opponents are bidding invite or anything, they just don't have a good bid and would pass. And I think east would just pass the invite. What do you reckon?
I'm with you, exactly the same. I mean, the other thing is west. There's a few things that I'm like, nah, definitely invite on this. You're aceless. You haven't got that many pips. You're 4-3-3. You're non-vulnerable, and you're playing match points. Like, it seems like everything's lining up for an invite. So yeah, I'm with you. I know Trump pass, invite, and playing in 2 no trumps at the end.
Yeah. What about board number 3?
I'll move that around. Number 3. So South's gonna open. Triple 4-1s. So a lot of people struggle to show 4-4-1s. Yeah. One thing is, I definitely wouldn't be showing this as anything remotely balanced. So I'd open a diamond here with the plan that if partner bids spades, I'm going to rebid clubs. So I'm opening a diamond to start off with. I think it's going to go a spade overcall as west. Pass by north. 2 hearts is east. Pass. I'm going to guess it goes 2 spades. I think it would be likely that east-west end up in 2 spades.
West could consider a 2 no trump bid.
Not true. I don't know. I think it may be a little bit light. And it could easily be that like my partner wants to be playing no trumps. My partner's got something like queen 3rd diamond or jack 3rd diamond. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I think again, I haven't got any pips. I'm flat. I've only got a 10 count, and I've done a vulnerable overcall. So I think I'm, a minimum, relatively speaking. But it's probably bad go.
This one's pretty awkward. East-West can get themselves into a lot of trouble. They've got this sort of misfitting hand. But yeah, a diamond, a spade, pass, 2 hearts is a fantastic start. I do like 2 hearts to be forcing, so West has to find a bid, and it's pretty awkward what they do. I think repeating 2 spades is fine, just having it be, I don't know where to go. 2 no trumps probably should be a little bit stronger than 10 points. But East might keep bidding, and it could just get way too high. There's a few different avenues from there, but usually if you think the auction's starting to feel like a misfit, you probably want to try and keep it low. So I think East-West ending in 2 spades is entirely sensible.
Yeah, I mean, East could easily bid 3 clubs here. Like a diamond, a spade, pass 2 hearts, pass 2 spades, pass 3 clubs is definitely not unreasonable as a bid. Yep. I guess again, I've got ace X of spades. I don't mind playing in a 5-2 fit at the 2 level.
Well, you might when the suit breaks this badly for you, but it doesn't usually happen.
No, yeah, I can definitely see East bidding 3 clubs.
Yeah.
And again, East-West just getting too high makes a lot of sense. But I also don't mind East if partner bids 2 spades saying go away basically. And I also don't mind East passing there. So touch and go.
Moving
Next
on.
time they won't be 5-1.
But I suspect East-West will find themselves in an awkward spot on this hand, whatever they do. Pretty normal for them to go down. Moving on to board number 4. Here it would go pass to East, who has a balanced 12 count and can open a diamond. South has a perfect hand for a takeout double. A double, West would pass, and then it's up to North. What would you do with the North hand?
Ooh. In match points, I'm going to be flagging that. I'm going to pass. Like occasionally, yeah, they'll make a diamond double, but I've got lots of really nice pips in diamonds. I really don't have a better alternative. It could easily go wrong, but in match points, I think that my plus 200s over a part score is a really nice idea. So as long as I get it 1 off and we're making a part score, I'm happy. So yeah, I think that's match points decision in particular. In match points, I'm going to be passing.
Yeah, I like pass here. So when your partner makes a takeout double, you only want to be passing, not when you don't know what to do, but because you actively think the opponents are going down. And if you look at your diamonds, we've not only got 5 of them, but all of them are really good. Jack, 10, 9, 8, 7. So we're going to take genuine diamond tricks. And we've got another heart trick to boot. So I think that they're going to be awkwardly placed here. If we weren't passing, we'd be considering something like 1 no trump. I think trying to penalize the opponents in 1 diamond is entirely sensible here.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, particularly I don't know, as you mentioned, which is a really good point. Your diamond pips are just so good. Like I'm coming up with 3 tricks in 1 diamond doubled, and in 1 no trump. I mean, I could theoretically come up with I have 1, but how I'm getting to 7 tricks. If I'm getting to 7 tricks in 1 no, it's likely that I'm also getting to 7 tricks in 1 diamond doubled, in which case I'm getting 200 instead of 90.
Yeah. Like if you changed my diamonds to be Jack 5, 4, 3, 2, I'd be bidding a no trump. So those intermediate diamonds really, really persuade me when choosing to convert my partner's takeout double into penalties. If you did bid a no trump, which is okay, but my second choice, it would just go 1 no trump, pass, 3 no trump. Moving on to board number 5. How do you reckon this one should be handled?
So East will be up. They open a heart. Excuse me. I'm going to overcall. No, I'm going to do a takeout double as South. So I don't mind a 2 diamond bid here, but with a 4-1-5-3, I'm going to do a takeout double. It's a little bit risky on this hand, partially because partner's a passed hand and partially because I'm vulnerable. Unfavorable is, and I'm not going to feel comfortable with those a heart double redouble, but I think that I've still got enough, and I think that if worse comes to worse, I can run away to 2 diamonds. I've got really good diamond cards, so I'm going to do a takeout double there. So pass, a heart double. I would just be doing an invitational raise. Invitational game force? Somewhere in between them with West. I probably invite on West, particularly at match points. So I'm not sure if everyone plays Bergen raises. They're a nice, consistent way of being able to show your 4-card raises in different ranges. So depending on how you played those, I'd probably do a Bergen raise. That'd be my suggested option here.
So I think people would play all kinds of different raises. However you show your invitational support, you can do that. This is pretty close to Game Force as well. If you did push on to bid just Game Force with the West hand, that's okay. It's pretty much right on the fence.
Yeah, I think in teams I'd probably just show it as a Game Force, and in pairs I might try and invite on it. Yep. But yeah, I think so too. Like I don't mind Game Force in that one. And East I think has a clear acceptable of an invite. So
yep. You can actually make 12 tricks on this hand, but there is no sensible way to actually try and bid and make 12. So stopping in 4 hearts is pretty good. Moving on to board number 6. So this one looks reasonably straightforward, at least compared to some of the earlier ones. Here it goes pass, and West gets to open 1 no trump. North has a relatively decent hand, but doesn't have any good bid, so would pass. And East has 5 hearts and 4 spades and a weak hand. So you've got a couple of options here, and this really depends on your partnership. One thing that you could do is just transfer to hearts and pass. Another thing that some people might do, and what I actually like to be able to do, is when I've got a weak hand with both majors, I like to be able to stamen, and if partner bids 2 spades or 2 hearts, I can then pass it. And if partner bids 2 diamonds, I then correct that to 2 hearts to say, partner, I'm weak with both majors. Just choose between which major you actually like. So that's the approach I would do, but what do you reckon?
I'm on exactly the same page. I think this is what you were describing called garbage statement. If you have garbage statement in your arsenal, then I definitely garbage statement on the East hand. So garbage statement is much like it's named. It's statement, but it's done on weak hands and allows you to run away to a better part score than a no trump, when no trump probably isn't going to go very well. So yeah, if you had that system agreement, I'm definitely garbage statementing on East, just because it keeps 2 spades in the game. So I've only got 1 extra. If I transfer to hearts and pass, I'm playing in 2 hearts. But going by a garbage statement keeps 2 spades in as a viable spot. But at the same time, I've only got 1 extra heart. So I'm getting to show 8 of my cards rather than 5 of my cards. And hopefully that will mean that I get to a better two major spot.
Yep. And I think there's a good illustration. This hand wants to be played in two spades rather than two hearts.
Yeah, perfect.
Board number 7. How would you bid this one?
Okay, so I'm passing as south and as west. And then third seed is north. I'm definitely going to be opening this hand. I've got a really lovely 11 count with both minors. So I'm going to open a diamond there. Again, when I've got 2 5-card suits, you open the highest one first. And that means that I can easily bid my clubs multiple times and show that distribution without doing anything like reversing or showing any extra strength. So the idea there is if you do what's called reverses, again, this depends on system agreements. Once I bid a suit higher than my original bid suit at 2 level, it shows extra strength. So by opening diamonds and rebidding clubs twice here, it means I can show my distribution, but if my partner has longer diamonds than clubs, we're not forced to a higher level. So I open a diamond there. As east, I'm probably going to do a takeout double. I don't mind a no trump, but I think doing a takeout double keeps both majors in the game. Whereas bidding a no trump, I mean, ace jack tight, I can't even I can't even duck any diamond cards at me. So if I have ace jack X diamond, it's a different thing. But with ace jack tight, I'm probably just takeout doubling as east. So I think it'll go pass, a diamond, double, pass, and then west has a bit of a problem. I'd bid 2 diamonds here. Again, I'm a passed hand, got both majors, and I've got a nice hand for my passed hand. So I'd probably upgrade this into the key raise. And then I think that east-west would likely get to 4 of a major at some point. What do you think, Pete? How's that?
Yeah, so just to clarify there, I like the 2 diamond bid, but when your partner makes a takeout double, if you bid the opponent's suit, it just shows that you've got a good hand, but you're not really sure where to go. I need more information. Because we could be interested in playing in spades if partner had a spade fit, or hearts if they had a heart fit. We don't know which major the takeout doubler has, because they aren't guaranteeing 4-4 in the majors. They have that today, and it would work out fine if we just bid one. But bidding the opponent's suit is a way to start a conversation. So I think doubling with the east hand's fine. I do think a 1 no trump overcall is reasonable. It's borderline between both. But the 2 diamond bid's good. And with the east hand, you would show your hearts, probably even jump to 3 or hearts or more. And I suspect you would end this hand in 4 hearts, which is a bit of a struggle with the bad distribution in spades, but a reasonable spot to end up.
Yeah. Looking at east-west in isolation, I'd be very happy being in 4 hearts or 4 spades, and then you find out the bad break. So I don't think it's unreasonable to go down
there. Moving on to board number 8. Here, west gets to open 1 heart, and north would pass, and east would just bid a no trump. Now, south has a really good hand. They've got a hand that would have opened, but they've got no appropriate bid. There's often hands that you can open, but you don't have a 5-card suit to overcall. You can't double because you don't have a shortage in the opponent's suit. You can't bid no trumps because you're not strong enough, or they'll bid it before you in this case. So here, even though South's got the best hand at the table, I don't see how they're going to get into this auction. So they'll start with pass, and West would just pass this, and I suspect East-West would play this in 1 no trump.
I think that's bang on.
And doesn't go too great for them. They don't really have any entries, so the hand really falls apart, but that's all right. What about board number 9?
So I think north starts with a spade. That's going to go pass by east. And south, you've got a 7 count, 4-card spade support. Again, I'm not sure what raise systems everyone's playing here, but I'd be doing some 6 to 9 raise with 4-card support. So if you Bergen, that's one of the options. If you do something like 3 spades as like a preemptive raise, that's all right. I don't mind that. Particularly these colors, I do kind of want to be getting stuck in. Also, the other thing is I'm aceless and I'm kingless. So I think it's for my 7 count, it's a bad 7 count. It's not some hand that I particularly. I mean, I've got 4-card support, so for a hand with 4-card support and a 7 count, it's bad 7 count. So I think it'd go a spade. If I was bidding this, playing Bergen raises, I think it'd go a spade. Pass, I probably bid 3 clubs. West has an awesome hand at the table, so they should easily be overcalling 3 hearts here. But I think it's likely that I think it's likely going to be a part score battle between North South being in 3 spades or East West being in 3 hearts. Yep. That's probably my best.
So I suspect a lot of auctions might just go a spade past 2 spades.
3 hearts West.
You would bid 3 hearts by West. What would you think about just doubling with the West hand? Planning to bid hearts again later.
I don't think I'm good enough. So at these colours, I'm unfavourable. I'm coming in the sandwich position. So there's a few things there. I'm unfavourable, so I have to have a decent hand for this. I'm not bidding on garbage because then I'm getting doubled and going for a big number. So generally, your strengths of your overcalls and your particularly your overcalls should be dependent on vulnerability, and your takeout doubles should be dependent on vulnerability. So as West. First thing is I'm stronger, but I'm also doing this unfavorable, and I'm also doing it in what's called the sandwich position. So my left-hand opponent is still an unlimited hand. They've opened a spade, but for all I know, their next bid was going to be 4 spades or 3 no trumps or something. So I'm doing this with the knowledge that my left-hand opponent hasn't been limited. The other thing is I'm balanced, and I've got lots of king X's under the opener. So I think I can understand why people would double first up, but I think that bidding 3 hearts, A, gets across my suit, and B, I'm already showing a fairly solid overcall for that. I'm overcalling at the 3 level, I'm overcalling while vulnerable, and I'm overcalling when my left hand, with the knowledge that my left-hand opponent could be a good hand.
I think this is a clear 3 heart bid. If you start by doubling, planning to bid hearts the next time, you're just going to get yourself into trouble most of the time. So I think 3 hearts is good. And if that happened, it would go pass, and I'd probably just bid 3 spades with the south hand because they've got an extra trump that they hadn't shown already.
Yep, makes a lot of sense. So 3 spades by north-south seems. Moving on
to board number 10. Here, East has an 11 count. I got a 5-card spade suit. I am vulnerable. I would be passing this, but this depends on partnership style for whether you open it or not. I'm a pretty aggressive opener when I'm not vulnerable, but would you open this East hand?
I'd open a spade. Maybe I'm just an optimist.
It's pretty good. I think it's right on the line. So
yeah, like ace king king. I kind of wish I had some 10s around, but yeah, I'm an optimist. But yeah, makes sense. I think it's on the line.
If East opens a spade, or if they pass, what would you do with the south hand?
I'm vulnerable, so my preempt decisions does depend on the vulnerability and the seat here. So there's a few reasons. I'd open 3 clubs here, or bid 3 clubs. There's a few reasons here. One, I'm vulnerable. So again, I should be a sound preempt here. And secondly, I'm second seat. So that should be one of the most conservative preempting positions. It's equally likely that I'm going to be preempting partner as it is that I'm going to be preempting my left-hand opponent. So you don't want to be preempting here on any old garbage. It should be a sound bid. That being said, I have really lovely clubs and I have a void diamond. I'd be a little bit concerned that we might be making 4 major, and I've been preempting 3 clubs, and my partner with some nice looking 5-card suit goes, it's very unlikely that we'll have a fit there. But I still think that 3 clubs just describes my hand really well. So yeah, I'm a 3 clubber. How about you?
Yeah, it feels like I'd bid 3 clubs, but having both of those majors in the void, it's going to be hard for partner to evaluate what to do over this hand, but so be it. We've got good intermediates, Queen, Jack, 10, 9. I would bid 3 clubs, but it's there's some awkwardness to it, that's for sure. But let's say that the auction starts either pass 3 clubs or a spade 3 clubs. If it goes a spade, 3 clubs, I think the West hand should just be jumping to 4 spades.
Yep.
If it goes past 3 clubs, would you be bidding with the West hand? And if so, what?
Oh no. I mean, oh look, my partner's a past hand. I'm vulnerable. I like it's dishing up on whether I'm concerned. The concern here is that if I bid 3 hearts, my left hand opponent now has a penalty double. So if it is something like left hand opponent's just got queen 5th heart and some random assortment of cards, they can get me very easily. I've got lots of losers. I'm very flat, and I've got a nice heart suit, but that's pretty much all that's going for me. I'm balanced as well. I'd probably pass. I think that if my partner's got a nice hand in the pass out seat, they can come back in with a takeout double, or they can bid. But I think that if I bid 3 hearts here, it's just, even if my left hand opponent's got some random flat 16 count and just, carts me out for a number, where are my tricks coming from here? So yeah, I'm a passer, but I don't like it.
Yeah,
not with that heart suit.
I feel like it's probably a pass. It's important to remember that if partner has a very appropriate hand, they can still bid again as a passed hand, which might still allow you to find game when it was right, but keep you out of trouble when it's not. But definitely pretty awkward. So East-West could get to 4 spades, which goes down basically because the opponent's cross-ruff you, which doesn't work well on the hand, but isn't terrible. Or you might be defending 3 clubs as a couple of spots. Moving on to board number 11, there's a couple of interesting choices here. So number 1, would you bid anything on the south hand?
I'm opening a club. I've got 2 bullets and a 7 card suit. Sorry, 2 aces and a 7 card suit. I hate that I'm flat. I hate that all my points are not in my 7 card suit. But I can't justify passing it either. It's unfavorable. First seat nil. I'm a 1 club opening. I don't like 3 clubs because I've got as I said before, I've got all of my points outside my suit. And 3 clubs is just going to give the wrong impression about my hand. But I can't justify passing there either. I'm a club opener. How about you?
Yeah, I would open a club, but I do have sympathy for pass, not so much sympathy for 3 clubs. So then West has this really awkward dilemma. So first of all, if it was a pass by South, what would you do with the West hand? Would you open 2 clubs or would you open a spade?
I'd open a spade. Just because I've got if I'm a 5-3-0-5, I'm probably 2 clubbing it. But with a void heart, I think that it's way more likely that my opponents are going to be bidding hearts here. My left-hand opponent can do a takeout double. My left-hand opponent can bid 2 hearts, right? My right-hand opponent can be bidding hearts at some point. I think with a void in the other major, it's far too likely that I'm going to be able to come back in here and that my opponents are going to save me. But at the same time, I think opening 2 clubs here, again, because the opponents likely have a lot of hearts, I'm not going to be able to get this hand across. If it closed 2 clubs, 2 hearts past 3 hearts, trying to get across this 5-5 is difficult. Whereas if I start with a spade, at least I've got one of my suits out the way.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I like opening a spade. I'm pretty hesitant to open 2 clubs on 2 suited hands, just because if you try and plan out the auction, it's going to get really awkward to try and show all your suits appropriately a lot of the time. It's not too bad when you're starting with 2 spades as your first suit, but it can still get pretty awkward. Also, when you're quite distributional, it's really unlikely that the opponents are passing you out at the 1 level. It just doesn't really happen. Either your partner's got points or your opponents do, and there's also shape about. So I'm a 1 spade bidder. If South had opened 1 club instead, you probably want to start with a double and bid spades. You're too good for just a 1 spade overcall. Now, let's say it goes past a spade. North has a lot of distribution, but no real points, so it would probably pass. What would you do with the East hand?
Oh, whew. Okay, so pass a spade, pass to me. I like my hand. I like my hand a lot. I'd probably push this up into an invite just because I got a 6-4. I like 6-4s. But I don't think that if I show this as a 6 to 9 hand, it's ever going to be like partner's never going to pick me as this. I can be a balanced 6 count, and instead I've got this rock crusher of a 9 count with a 6-4. So I'm showing this as an invite. I wouldn't show it as a game force because I've got the stiff king of clubs. So if I had something like king x of diamonds and a stiff club instead, I'd probably game force it. But yeah, I think this is solidly in the invite category. How about you?
Yeah, I think inviting on this is appropriate. If you do show your invitational raise of spades, I would be off to the races with the West hand and just trying to bid slam. And slam's actually a really good contract. You are missing 2 aces, but that's not the issue. The main issue is that North has a void club. And they're unlikely to find it straight away, but they get time to try a few different things, and they might be able to navigate that one. So I think ending up in 6 spades going down 1 is entirely sensible on the east-west cards. If the south hand opened a club, you might get sort of jammed out and not be able to get yourself to 6 after that opening. You'd start with like a club, double, North would pass, and East might jump to 4 hearts or something. You'd be happy and sad with the West hand. Your partner's shown some points, but this auction feels pretty awful, and you'd probably just try bidding 4 spades, and that might be where the auction ends.
Probably with your life flashing before your eyes too. Just like, what have I done? Oh no.
What about board number 12?
Okay, so we start as West, passed by West. As North, I just open a club. I'm not sure whether you play short club or better minor, but regardless, I think a club opening here is fairly consistent with both. So I think we should go a club. East, again, they have a nice hand, but they don't have a bid here. So passes East, South a bit of heart, passes West. So I think it'll go a club, a heart, 2 hearts, pass, pass, pass. I think it's a pretty normal auction. I don't mind West balancing here with a little takeout double, just because, again, that's thoroughly a pairs choice. I'm never doing it in teams, and I'm never doing it any other colors except this. But you could easily have a nice 2 spade part score East-West where you can go 1 or 2 off. So I don't mind West balancing here with a takeout double. Also, the other thing is you've passed twice at this point. So your partner clearly gets that you're not doing this on points, but you're doing this because you don't want to let them play 2 hearts and get a 110. How about you, Pete?
Yeah, I think double by West is good. I don't like letting the opponents play at the 2 level in a fit. So I would try and push them up. And then your partner would probably just bid 3 diamonds, and as South I'd compete to 3 hearts, where I think the auction would rest. And I'm quite happy about just pushing the opponents up a level. It's given you a better chance of beating them. You won't beat them today, but yeah.
Yep, I'm with you. I agree.
Moving on to board number 13. Here it'll go pass to South, who would start with a spade, and West, who had grand dreams of this hand.
Oh no.
Has them a bit shattered here. So they've got a really good hand, but the opponents have opened their suit. So usually when you want to do that, you typically just want to pass. You can't bid anything like 2 spades, that would be Michael's, but also spades are sort of out of the picture now that we know that there's a 5-card spade suit there. So there's no real bid that they've got. They could vaguely consider overcalling a no trump, but I think pass is just pretty normal. North would pass, and as East, when it's gone as a passed hand, I would actually reopen with a double. I've got about as good a hand as I could for being a passed hand, and I don't want to let them play at the 1 level. I would just reopen with a double. South should probably pass. There's no need to really sort of continue the auction. Some people might bid 2 hearts here, but you really want like a better hand to keep the auction going when partners are passed hand.
More hearts.
Yeah. So I would pass with South. West would pass, and as North, I have a firm belief that I trust my opponents when they double me at the 1 level that I should run, and I would remove it to 2 clubs, which might end the auction there. West would probably try 3 no trumps instead of like 2 clubs, pass, pass. West would just give 3 no trumps a go, possibly, or check for a club stopper. If South did bid 2 hearts, so let's say it went 1 spade, so pass, pass a spade, pass, pass, double, 2 hearts, I would double with the West hand to say, hey, I've got a really good hand. And what it actually implies is the only time that you can have a good hand there is if you had spades. That's sort of saying I had a penalty double of spades. And you might be able to penalize the opponents in 2 hearts instead if they did that.
What do you think about doubling try to double 2 clubs?
I think East should try and double 2 clubs. So it might. So the option might go pass, pass a spade, pass, pass, double, pass, pass 2 clubs, and if as East, if my partner's willing to penalize spades and I got 5 clubs, I would double that. South would pass. I'm not convinced West should be passing it there. It depends on what sort of hands partner is doubling with. I'd probably try 3 no trumps, but
I think it makes sense. Yeah.
But this one's pretty awkward, but one where I think it's probably right to try and penalize the opponents. Most of the options, North-South might be able to escape. What do you think about board 14?
Okay, so we start as East. Okay, so I'm definitely opening East. I think 3 clubs here is pretty normal. First seat, nil. I'm a little bit worried that my partner isn't going to pick me as this good a hand, but I've got a stiff spade. So there's plenty of hands that, again, remember that other hand that we had where we had 3-3 in the majors and we were a bit worried? Yeah, I'm a little worried we're going to miss a heart fit, but we're definitely not missing a spade fit. So I want to try and destructively interfere with my opponent's potential spade game. And I think that the advantages of that well overweigh the fact that my partner might not pick me as this good a hand at these colors. So again, all this stuff comes down to vulnerability and where you're sitting, what seat you're sitting in. So I'm going to open 3 clubs as East. As South, I'm just going to pass. Granted, you have nice shape, but you've got a bad long suit and you've only got a doubleton club. Be more tempted to do something if I was a 4-2-6-1, because again, if I have shortness in my opponent's suit, it's sort of important I do something. But here, with a doubleton club, I'm just passing. Now, West has a big problem because they have a huge hand. There's some nice conventions here that some various people play. I'd definitely be pushing on. The question is what you need from partner to be making slam. So in order to make slam, I need them to have ace 7th club and a stiff spade would definitely work. A 7th club and the ace of spades would work. A 7th club and a king of spades would work. So I think there's too many hands here that slam is going to be very, very playable on, that my partner could very easily hold. So I'm not sure how people go about their slam bidding auctions after a preempt. Again, there's some people that play some more complex system conventions. If there was keycard, I'd always, whenever I'm keycarding in a minor, I always consider, okay, what answer am I going to be getting from my partner? And is that going to be too high? So from here, if you play 30-41, I'm going to need my partner to have at least 1 ace. So if I'm keycarding and they're bidding 5 diamonds, then I'm fine. I'm already, we're too high to play 5 clubs, but I'm happy to be in slam. If you play 14-30, it might be a little bit more awkward. But I still think that it's likely my partner's going to have the ace of clubs. So I'd be, however your partnership agreement is, I'd be pushing towards looking to slam. How about you, Pete?
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. It really depends on your partnership methods of what you can actually do here. It also depends on your preemptive styles. If you are hyper-aggressive preempters, you'd probably just try 3-no trump with the West hand. But I think looking for slams pretty decent. And if you can't investigate it, maybe you just bid it anyway. Like I think 3 clubs, 6 clubs is a reasonable auction. Doesn't give the opponents much space if you can't find a good bid.
Yeah, makes them guess as well. Like with ace, king, queen, X of hearts, you could easily be pitching away a couple of spade losers if they don't cash them out to begin with.
Board number 15. So here South gets to open 1 diamond, and West has a pretty normal takeout double. As North, they could bid 1 spade potentially. Some people might also have a 2 spade bid available as like, hey partner, I'm sort of too weak to respond, but I've actually got a 6 card suit. And some people might just be passing. I think all these options are fair. It really depends on what sort of options you got available. If it does go a diamond double pass, as East, I'd probably just be bidding 3-no trumps. If the auction went a diamond double a spade, what would you do with the East hand?
Ooh. I kind of like a takeout double here. It keeps, but again, where am I going to be going on this? I mean, it could be that 4 hearts in a 4-3 fit is reasonable. It could keeps clubs in the game, so I don't mind a takeout double there. But yeah, it's awkward. It's uncomfortable. I definitely want to be pushing on when my partner does a takeout double. So I don't mind maybe a 2 diamond queue, trying to figure out where we're going, to start that conversation up. I think all of those are probably my options, my thoughts.
I think they're all reasonable bids. I also think 3-no trumps is still a practical bid as well. It's one of these ones where partners implied that they've got spades, so they should have something. They made a takeout double, so if you can't find a way to ask partner, you could do that. You've got diamonds covered, so.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I'm uncomfortable about bidding 3-no is that if South's getting to lead a spade on the fly originally, it's maybe better that my partner plays 3-no, but then maybe North can just lead a diamond at me and my diamonds aren't good enough. So I don't know. Yeah, it's got a point.
What about board number 16?
So I start as West, so I'm opening a spade. I think North has a very normal takeout double here. So spade, double, just bid 2 spades as East, 6 to 9, 3 card support. As South here, I'm going to be bidding 3 clubs. Again, this is the same sort of thing that my partner's got likely shortage in spades. I've got a 5 card suit. I know I'm a little bit light, but I really want to be competing here, particularly at these colors. So I think it should go a spade, double, 2 spades. I bid 3 clubs as South. And as West, I mean, I really like my hand. I'd probably just bid 4 spades, but I think that's maybe a bit pushy. Maybe no, I think I should invite. So I'd probably bid 3 hearts here, just a long suit trial. And I think you're still going to end up getting to 4 spades because I would accept as East. I've got help in hearts. I've got a maximum. I'd be pushing on. So yeah, I'd get to 4 spades East West. How about you?
Yeah, I think that's a very sensible auction. Moving on to board number 17. Here, North has a balanced 14 count, can start with a club. East only has 10 points. I would be considering a takeout double. I probably would do it. What about you?
Yep, I'm with you.
So anytime I've got a singleton and all my points outside of the suit, especially not vulnerable, I think I would stretch into a double.
That and anything partner bids, I'm kind of comfy with it. Like even if they end up being spades, I'm getting to rough clubs in the shorthand.
After a club double, South has a few options here. They've only got 5 points. They could consider passing. They do have a spade suit. They could consider responding a spade. Or they could consider just raising clubs just to be a bit of a nuisance. What would you do?
Look, I like bidding, particularly when I'm non-vulnerable. So I'm probably on the bidding route. I think this somewhat depends on how often you open a club with non-clubby hands. So with some of my partners, I play short club and we're very liberal with opening a club. I'd probably show spades with the plan that hoping to come back in later on and run away to clubs. So yeah, I think I'd just bet a spade. How about you?
Yeah, I think I like bidding a spade. It still takes away room from the opponents and there's a bit of a nuisance. But I do think 2 clubs is fair. I probably would be bidding with this south hand. And as West with 5 hearts and 11 points, I'd probably just be bidding 4 hearts.
Yep.
North might consider bidding 4 spades if their partner responded a spade, but there was a takeout double. So I think I'd be a little bit hesitant to try and do that. So I think pass is probably the safer approach there. If East didn't make the takeout double, it's a lot harder for East-West to successfully navigate this one. It could go a club, pass, South. I would tend to respond, but it's okay to pass. So it could go a club, pass, a spade, and then I think East-West are sort of pushed out of the auction. They might be able to compete later, but I don't see them getting to 4 hearts if it starts that way.
No, me neither. I think it's gonna, if that was gonna go like a club, a spade, 2 spades as North, pass, I'd do a takeout double as West. But again, trying to find this after you and your partner have passed twice is pretty difficult.
Yep. Moving on to board number 18. What are your thoughts there?
Okay, so East. So I start with a diamond here. Oh, I've got a really nice diamond suit. It's a little bit uncomfortable to show this as a no trumpy hand, which is what I'm probably going towards. So I'm uncomfortable with it, but I mean, I think there's definitely reason to open this as a no upgrade. This is to a 1 no trump opening, 15 to 17, mainly because I've got 6 tricks in my hand. So I don't mind a diamond opening at pairs. At teams, I'm definitely opening a no trump because I want to get into a game. But yeah, pairs, I'd probably still open a no trump. I think it's touch and go though. What do you think?
Yeah. I suspect most people would open a diamond, but I actually like a no trump. I aggressively upgrade a point for having a 5-card suit. So you could say we've got 14 high card points and 1 point for having a 5-card suit. And we've got 15 to 17 balanced. So I'd try it on that sense. Also, 1 no trump is just really awkward for the opponents to try and bid over. So you're going to make life really tricky for them. But if you opened a no trump, South would probably double, West would pass, North would probably pass, and then I'll just bid 2 diamonds as East. And then it's awkward for North or South to still come back into the auction, and you'd probably play in 2 diamonds. If you instead opened a diamond, the auction's still awkward for South because they've got a strong hand, but no great bid. I would probably make a takeout double, even though I don't actually have a shortage. What about you?
I think I'd go a no trump here. I'm probably, I mean, I really don't like that I don't have a diamond stopper. I really don't. But at the same time, I'm looking at my hand being like, I am 15 to 18 balanced. I'm on the higher end of 15 to 18 balanced. And if I feel like if I do a takeout double, I'm trying to describe this hand adequately to my partner later on. It's just going to be difficult. Whereas if I bid a no trump directly, I'm like, yeah, sure, I don't have the diamond stopper, which is bad. And they could easily cash the first 5 diamond tricks at me. But at least it describes everything in my hand except that one thing, rather than if I double and partner bids a major and now I'm like, now do I have to bid no trumps, but now I'm showing strength. But I do want to bid again. So I think if I'm afraid of doubling, I'll get myself into a pickle. Whereas if I bid a no trump, at least I get most of the stuff off my chest.
Yeah. So if you bid a no trump, the auction will probably end there.
Yeah.
If you did choose double, West may respond to spade. They may pass. If they pass, your partner bids a heart, and as East would pass, and you have that problem that Renee mentioned earlier. It's pretty awkward here. You have extra values, but you don't have a fit for hearts. I wouldn't be doubling and bidding no trumps now. I don't think I'd be doubling and raising. I would probably be just taking the low road, but it's pretty an uncomfortable hand, whatever happens.
Yeah, look.
But, there's lots of not clear actions to choose on that one. But, moving on to board number 19. What are your thoughts here?
So start as a pass as south. There we go. As west, I just open either a club or a diamond, depending on your system. Probably a diamond for most people. So pass a diamond. North, I'm going to be doing something here for a few reasons. Firstly, my partner's a passed hand. So my partner has at most 10, 11 points. I've got 4 points. It's likely that, it's highly, highly likely that my opponents have the points of the game. In fact, pretty close to certain. Secondly, we're favorable, which, doesn't, it really encourages some adventurous bidding. And thirdly, I really do like a 6-4. So again, based on that distribution, I wish that I had my King Jack in my actual long suits, but I'd definitely be bidding here. I think 2 spades is probably a pretty normal weak jump here. So I'd probably be bidding 2 spades. How about you, Pete?
Yeah, I really like 2 spades. When you're not vulnerable and the opponents are, this is just, it's an absolute go sign for preempting. So I really don't care about suit quality. I don't care about high card points. Just really anything that's remotely close, I will give it a red hot go. So this one, we've got 6 spades. I would get in there and be preempting 2 spades. I wouldn't be doing a 2 spade bid if we're vulnerable. I really changed my preemptive style a lot based on vulnerability. But here we are not vulnerable. The opponents are. Basically anything goes here for me. I would be bidding 2 spades. And over that, East probably has a takeout double, showing some hearts and some clubs.
Yep.
South, I would raise the 2 spade bid to 3 spades. It makes life really awkward for the opponents. West, I would be passing. They do have a fit for hearts, but if partner's got a good hand, they should be doing something again. So I would be passing, but it is close to a 4-heart bid. North would pass, and I'd probably just double again as the East hand, although bidding 3 no trumps is another completely valid choice. Whatever you do, I see West bidding 4 hearts on over that.
Yep, I agree. That's
so preamps can make life really, really difficult for the opponents. So I really recommend doing them, especially not vulnerable. Here, I think East-West can navigate it to a sensible spot, but sometimes you'll cause them real grief.
Particularly if they had a few more points here, and even that once you preempt your partner, pushing it up to 3 there can make things really uncomfortable, because if they did have more points here, you've taken away their way to ask them no trump stoppers. You've taken away their cues to show slam interest. It's really sort of cutting down on their ability to both show points, show stoppers, and show fits. Like it's at non-favorable, that's an absolute asset and can make things really awkward.
Yep. Moving on to board number 20. How would you handle this one?
Okay, so passes west. It's north. I open a heart. Again, 2 aces, 5-card suit, bit of shape, 11 count. I'm absolutely in there with a heart. As east here, I've got a really nice hand. Granted, no aces, but I've got a 6-4. I've got really great spade texture. So I'm planning to overcall a spade, and then if it comes back to me, I'm gonna bid spades again here. So that's sort of my way to show more of an intermediate hand with 6-card spade suit. So like sort of a 13 to 15-ish, good 12 to 15-ish sort of hand. So I think you should go a heart pass, a heart, a spade. As south, I'm going to be showing this as a game forcing heart raise. I'm not sure if people play splinters, but that would probably be a nice way to show this hand. So again, there's a few reasons why. 2 aces, 6-4, and a singleton with a 10 count. I think that's a hand that I want to be bidding game on. So if I have a 4-club splinter bid, so that shows shortness in clubs and at least 4-card heart support with a game going hand, I probably did that. And I think that North-South will eventually get into full hearts. How about you, Pete?
Yeah, I think that's my ideal option. If you don't play splinters, you maybe make a Q raise by bidding the opponent's suit to show a strong raise. If your partnership does something else, however you show your strong raise of hearts, you want to be getting to game with this south hand, and you want to try and push it up to 4 hearts. East, who did have aspirations of bidding spades again, will probably let them go at that level.
Yeah.
Moving on to board number 21. Here, North has 6 diamonds, but is vulnerable, so they don't have anything worth preempting. East would pass, and South can open a spade. West has a pretty strong hand. They have a couple of choices here. They could either just overcall 2 clubs, or they could try making a power double, where they double with the intention of correcting partner's bid 2 clubs to show a really strong hand. Which way would you go?
On this hand, I'd probably go the double and then bid clubs route for a few reasons. So again, my strength of my overcalls depends thoroughly on vulnerability here. So my partner's passed hand and my opponent's vulnerable and I'm not. So if I'm going to be doing something a bit of a cheeky light overcall, this is probably the time I'm going to do it. So I'm a little bit worried about bidding 2 clubs here. And my partner just having some sort of random smattering of points, some sort of 8 count and passing, and we have game on as a result. I also don't mind bidding 3 clubs later on. I think that if my partner does bid a level of hearts, I could maybe get in a bit of trouble. But I think over any level of hearts any level of hearts up to maybe the 3 level, 4 clubs. I'm very happy to bid my club suit and just be happy with it. So I think I'm going to go the double route on this one.
Yep. I think I'm a doubler. Usually I want sort of about 18 or more points, but this one I think is really, really good. We've got lots of aces and kings. We do have a 6-card suit, not just a 5-card suit. I think there's lots of pros for doubling on this one. This is pretty much where I draw the line, though. So you bid 2 clubs, I don't think you're that far away. So if it goes a spade double, North has 7 points. They could consider a no trump. They could consider pass. Both are reasonable. If North bid a no trump, as East, I would still venture 2 hearts because I've got 5 hearts. Thinking that my partner's got a normal takeout double. South would pass, and West would now go to 3 clubs. North would pass. As East, I would probably pass, but 3 no trumps is starting to look tempting with those spade stoppers. What are your thoughts?
I'm exactly the same. I think ultimately it's a pass. Maybe at teams, if I'm really pushing the imps, I'd bid 3 no. It's definitely on the table, but I'm just a little bit. I am very weak, right? My partner, if they really did just need a spade stopper, they also had the option of bidding a spade 3 spades, and they haven't gone that route. So I think I like my spade stoppers. I like my club length, so it could easily be that 3 no does end up making, and that's why at teams I think it's viable. But I think at pairs I'm just passing, and we could potentially be missing a game, but I'll take my positive part score.
Yep. Moving on to board number 22. Here East has a normal 1 diamond opening. South has 11 points and a doubleton diamond. I think this is fine for a takeout double. West has a couple of choices here. Firstly, they might be able to redouble. If you redouble in this spot, it typically shows 10 or more points, usually without a diamond fit. It doesn't deny it, but usually without it. And some interest in trying to penalize the opponents. Another option West could do is they could just try and bid a heart. A third option, maybe some people just bid 3 no trumps. That's not my favorite option. We're probably pretty happy ending in 3 no trumps, but I don't think we need to try and rush there. How would you bid this one?
I'm definitely going the redouble route here. I usually like doing it at different colors. So the one thing that's pushing me against it is we're vulnerable, they're not. So I need to get them off a lot in order to be having a good score here. But I think starting it with a redouble keeps it in the game, keeps my partner in the loop about what's going on. And again, as you said, we don't need to rush to 3 no trumps. I think it's likely we'll get there, but redoubling and weighing our options and taking all of our options, I think's a much better idea rather than just punting it out. I don't like bidding 1 heart so much here, again, because I haven't really got that, like, my right hand opponent has done a takeout double, and I haven't really got that chunky a heart suit, right? My spades are better than my hearts here. So I'm less inclined to bid a major here with a good hand and only a 4-card suit and not much shape. So that's why I think even if I'm not actually going to try and double up the opponents, I am going to start with a redouble because I think that gives my partner a really nice image of what my hand entails.
North over the redouble has a couple of options. They could bid a heart, they could bid a spade. I also play that after at the 1 level, if it goes 1 level opening, double, redouble, I have the advancer passing. Just say I've got no preference, you actually choose. If it was any higher level, I would have it be, nah, I want to try and penalize the opponent. I was going to turn your takeout double into a penalty double. But at the 1 level, I like it just to be, partner, you can choose. So I would be passing with this north hand. East would probably pass to start with. And then South can just bid a spade. Show that they've got spades. West could consider doubling here. Even if they double, I don't think East should be leaving it in with such a distributional hand and the opponents being not vulnerable. So I would be trying to bid. And then I think East-West, sort of after that start, there's a lot of variations that could happen. I think East-West should be navigating their way to 3 no trump.
Yep, I agree. That's an ideal option.
What about board number 23?
Okay, so starting by South, wow, I've got a really lovely hand. Lots of points in my suits, really nice suits. So I'm going to open a club to start with. At West, I've also got a nice hand, but again, it's one of those hands that you don't really have a viable bid on. So I'm just going to pass as much as it makes me uncomfortable. On this hand, I think the subsequent options that I might be bidding on is if it goes like a spade past 2 spades. So if I was holding West in this auction and right hand opponent opens a club and I go, oh, this is annoying, and I've got this nice 14 count, don't fret too much because it could be that you can get into that auction later on. Even if it went a club, pass a spade, pass a no trump, I'd be doing a takeout double now. So I think that, I'm definitely not bidding first time up, but those would be subsequent auctions where I could get involved. So I think it should go a club, pass. As North, I'd just be, again, there's a few options. If you have the agreement that you can bid 2 hearts here with less than 6 points and a decent heart suit, I think that describes your hand really, really well. You've got a really nice heart suit. I wouldn't be passing here. That's one of the things that I'm less inclined to do. If I don't have that 2 heart bid, I'd be responding with 1 heart and then 2 hearts. There's a few reasons here. For one thing, generally when people open a club, they can have 2 or 3 clubs, depending on your system. I think that I'm not going to get myself into too much trouble by responding and showing this 6-card a weak hand with long hearts. And I think that we can easily have a very nice part score, if not a game in hearts. So I think on this auction, it should go a club, pass, 2 hearts, pass. And then South feels very uncomfortable. I think I would eventually pass 2 hearts. I don't mind giving that an invite or giving it a push, but I think ultimately on diamond, I'm a little bit uncomfortable with my partner having less than 6 points and us being able to make 4 hearts here. So I'd be thinking through the different hands that my partner could potentially have for this bid, giving them the best hands, giving them the worst hands, a few in between. And I think that it's unlikely I'm going to be making 4 hearts on the hand. So I think I'd eventually just pass it. How about you, Pete?
Yeah, so if you've got the weak 2 response to the opening, I think that's good of a club pass 2 hearts and then an uncomfortable pass. But if you don't have that and it goes a club, a heart, and South bids spades, and you bid 2 hearts, I think you'll be ending up in 4 hearts. Which partners actually like the North-South cards are quite okay to be in 4 hearts. You don't make it the hearts break poorly, but it's not the world's worst contract if you did end up there. Moving on to board number 24. So here it would start pass to east. Now they've got 15 points and they've got a 5-4-2-2 shape. When I've got a 5-4-2-2 shape with a 5 card minor, not major, I like to treat this hand type as balanced. So I would be opening 1 no trump here. I think it's worthwhile adding that into your repertoire as it's okay to treat these hands as balanced. Because the other ways of trying to bid this hand are pretty awkward. Like, if you opened a diamond, not that it would happen here, but imagine partner responded a spade. Would you want to be rebidding 2 hearts? That would be a reverse. Is that okay? Maybe, but it doesn't feel that great. Would you be rebidding 1 no trump? Well, now you're just describing your hand as balanced anyway, but you'd be showing it as 12 to 14. So you're lying about your points as well. So here, I think I would be quite happy to treat this hand as balanced and open a no trump. And South has a decent hand, and this really depends on your methods of are you able to bid on this or not. Some people might play conventions, some people might not. If you're just playing natural, I'd probably bid 2 clubs. If you play some sort of convention, you might be able to show clubs in a major, or maybe you can show spades in a minor. I would be relatively keen to bid on the South hand if you had an appropriate way to bid it. Otherwise, it's just a pass. So it might go a no trump or pass, or otherwise South might show their hand and North-South might end up in 2 clubs or 2 spades. But the West End should be relatively keen to try and compete. If the opponents are in a part score and stopping at the 2 level, you might try pushing it up to 3 diamonds. But lots of variations available depending on what you play there.
Particularly if South bids 2 clubs, I'm very keen as West to bid 2 diamonds here. Get involved, get stuck in. Again, I don't want to let my opponents play in 2 clubs when I've got a 5 card suit and we've got at least half the points.
Yep.
That seems.
Okay, moving on to board number 25. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so I start with North. This is touch and go. So first seat favourable. I'm disinclined to open this a week 2, because I've seen my first seat favourable week 2s before. So again, remember both me and Pete have said that our preempting style varies wildly based on seat and based on vulnerability. First seat favourable is one of the most aggressive ones you can find because your opponents are vulnerable. So if they're bidding a game, they're getting 600, they're getting 620. We're not vulnerable, so I can go 3 off in something and it still is a good board if they're making game. And I'm preempting both of my opponents and only one of my partners. So there's like a 2-to-1 ratio of whether my preempt is preempting someone with values. So I look at this hand and I go, I've actually got a really, like, if I was, first seat unfavorable, I don't mind showing this as like a week 2 or something. But first seat favorable, I'm just too good. That range has slid right down, and this is better than the best week 2 I can have in that scenario. So I'd open this hand a spade. Another thing that's sort of interesting about these hands is that there's always an overlap, that there are hands that, like, when you're looking at your preempts versus your hands that you're opening on, there should never be a hand that's, it's too good for a preempt, but it's not good enough for an opening. There's some hands that overlap that people go, do you open this as a preempt or do you open this as an opening? But there should never be like, I'm too good for a preempt, not good enough for an opening, so I'll just pass. That's not a gap there, at least for me. So I'd open North as a spade. Again, this is just because of the vulnerability. So I think it'd go a spade, pass, and South would be absolutely off to the races. So I'm not sure who here plays basic standard versus 2/1, but I definitely bid 2 hearts here as South. West would just pass. North would bid 2 spades, pass. South, I'd now bid 3 diamonds, and no matter what what system you play, that's definitely game forcing. The reason I don't raise spades here is that I generally, when we bid 2 spades, it can just be the minimum hand. My weak hands go through 2 spades, so I'm not promising a 6-card spade suit. If I've just got a 5-3, 3-2, weak no trump, I'd bid 2, and when a spade 2 hearts, I'd just bid 2 spades here to show a non-forward going hand. So as South, we're not sure that we have a fit yet, so I bid 3 diamonds. Now North should bid 3 spades to say, actually, partner, I've got spades. And again, as South, I would now be going the slamming route. So I'd be pushing towards slam. How about you, Pete? What's your thoughts?
So yeah, I like that option. So after 3 spades, I just bid 4 no trumps and bid slam. The South hand's fantastic. Another sort of reason why a 2 spade bid might only show 5 is, imagine a hand with 5 spades and 4 clubs in the North hand. If they bid 1 spade and your partner bids 2 hearts, some people bid 3 clubs, but that really should show extras. That should be committing to a game forcing auction. So if you do that, you shouldn't be bidding 3 clubs with just those minimum hands. And you want to just tell partner that your minimum by just repeating your suit. You can often untangle it a bit later. But yeah, I think North-South should find their way to 6 on this hand. But definitely an interesting one.
Yeah.
Moving on to 26. Here, East would pass and South can open 1 club. And West has a pretty easy 1 no trump overcall. North would pass and East has enough points for game and a 4-card major. They got an interesting choice here about whether they stamen or not. Now, usually the only time that I usually don't stamen when I've got a 4-card major as responder is when I have precisely a 4-3-3-3 shape. I don't have that, so I've got a doubleton heart, so it's entirely reasonable to stamen. I wouldn't do it on this hand for one reason, which is the opponents have opened clubs. My partner's overcalled a no trump, so they have clubs, and I've got long clubs as well. One of my main fears on this hand is that the opponents can get roughs in clubs because my club suit's that long. So I would probably just have this go a club, a no trump, pass 3 no trump. But I don't think stamen's unreasonable. What are your thoughts?
Exactly the same thing. I was like, particularly the 4-3-3, yes, I had exactly the same views. But on this hand, with your long clubs, yeah, what you said, exactly what you said. I agree.
What about board 27?
So South, I just opened a spade here, and West, I'm going to be bidding 2 clubs. And then it's North, I've just got a takeout double, 4 hearts, got some diamonds as well, so that's perfect. So a spade, 2 clubs, double. As East, I would just be passing here. I know you've got a lot of shape, but you haven't got many points. Everybody's getting involved. North has just done a takeout double to show the other 2 suits that you're very long in, and I've got a void spade, but I've got doubleton club here. So I'm very happy to play in clubs, but I also don't want this auction to run away from me and my partner to get too excited. So I just passed as East. So I think I should go a spade, 2 clubs, double pass. Or South has a few interesting choices. I'd probably just be bidding 2 spades here. I think my partner's double of 2 clubs is obviously showing some values. I think you'd need good 8 to 9 plus points. But I'm a minimum opening. I've got lots of points outside my suit. So I just bid 2 spades here. And that should go pass. North here has interesting thing. I probably just bid 3 clubs now. So my partner knows that I don't have 3 spades. Otherwise I would have raised spades at the first opportunity. So 3 clubs here should just be a game forcing hand. What's asking for a club stopper, but also just opening up the conversation. Where do you want to go? So keeping no trumps and spades still in the game. And I think that after that, South should be showing their spades. So I think you're going to be getting into 4 spades North-South here. Yep. How about you, Pete?
Yeah, I think that's entirely sensible. If you didn't bid 3 clubs, you're probably just going to bid 4 spades with the north hand. That's a secondary choice. If you got 3 clubs available, I'd probably bid that.
Uncomfortable thing is though, like what happens if partner's just a weak no trump without a club stopper?
Yeah, but where are we going to get to anyway?
Yeah, true. Yeah. Okay.
So like you might not have a spade fit, but I'm not sure where else we're getting to is my main fear. But I would bid 3 clubs asking if I had that available, but without that, I think I'd just shoot for 4 spades. And then onto a final hand, finishing with a bang. North has an absolutely massive hand with 24 points. So West would pass, North would open 2 clubs, East would pass, and South would typically bid 2 diamonds, just negative or waiting. West would pass, and North can now bid 2 no trumps to show 23-24 balanced, or 22-24 depending on your point ranges. East would pass, and as South, we've got enough points for game, but we don't have enough points for slam. We're up around 31 points. That's not enough to really go looking for slam. Got a good hand, but I would be first just checking, do we have a major suit fit? So I'd start with Stamen, and you can still play all your Stamen and transfers after the 2 club and 2 no trump rebid. So I'd Stamen with 3 clubs, and North would bid 3 spades. And at that point, I think the hand fizzles out, and I would just be bidding 3 no trumps. Is that what you do?
Completely agree. To a T.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed playing the Grand National Novice Pairs. Thanks all for coming along, and thanks Renee for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, see ya.